Total War Warhammer 2, released on the 28th of September, is an upbeat grand strategy game developed by Creative Assembly where you plan, scheme and recruit all in the name of battle. And if the name of the game hasn't made it blindingly obvious to you already, it's all about war and the pants-droppingly brilliant fantasy world of Warhammer. If you're already aware of this game, chances are you'll already be aware of the fact this is the second one in the same series, which is pretty much the same thing, with a few more bells and whistles, much like a younger brother that is always seemingly getting something new, or vice versa. If you're a middle child, well, take your pick really. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is that this is more of the same just like the first one. Only this time, the tutorial isn't as useful as the present your dog left in your shoe after a long weekend and you're in a hurry to go to work because you're late, only to end up even later than you're going to be. What I'm trying to say is that the tutorial in this one is at least half decent in explaining gameplay rather than being a hot dumpster fire like the first one was. Don't get me wrong, the first one was and is still great. In fact, from a performance standpoint, the first one was definitely more optimized than this one. Now, for those of us that don't spend thousands of real-world bitcoins that we like to call money, you will have to tweak it a bit to get it running smoothly. Although the recommended settings button does seem to do a fairly good job at making the game stable. Almost as if they had make run smooth post-it noted on their monitor during programming. But somewhere during the process, it fell off. However, it's entirely possible the continent full of forest may actually have something to do with this. Just saying, trees are a computer's worst enemy. Take what you will from that. Now, unlike what you'd find underneath a bright wizard's robe with his bright red glowing unsurprisingly, this game plays just like the first one. In fact, some even argue that this is more of a mega expansion rather than a sequel, which is entirely valid. The only difference with this one is the setting, which is set after the first one, the races, the campaign, and a few smaller tweaks here and there. So take your pick on what you want to call it. I mean, I'm not your mother. I don't care. Now, the Vortex campaign itself definitely adds some deliciously swirling flavour and creamy rich variety to the game by giving some kind of objective to work towards, and hopefully finish what you need to do before the other factions. It's just a shame that there's no option for a pure conquest victory. Although, to be entirely fair, it does give you the option to keep going after the main objective is completed, so there's always that. Luckily, there haven't been too many bugs that you can shake a can of raid at. One that's worth pointing out that I have noticed is when your units decide to charge up to an enemy, attack once, and then just stand there. That's all. I don't know if they think their work is done, or if some kind of giant beat stick needs to be implemented into the game to get them going again. Creative Assembly have acknowledged this as a bug, however, and do have plans to fix it in the next couple of weeks with the release of the Mortal Empires patch. That leads me to my final note. Mortal Empires patch is going to be the greatest thing in Total War to date. By implementing the continents, factions, and races of the first game to the second one, they plan to make an enormous, monstrous, hulking abomination of a campaign that will devour your very soul. With a total of 35 leaders, 25 starting positions, 117 factions, and 295 settlements, it's nothing to take lightly. That being said though, I am finding myself wanting to go back to the first game, for the moment anyway, just for the variety of races I can play. However, at the time of recording this, I am sitting at 119 hours of playtime, so I think that's a little justified by now. What? Oh. Total War Warhammer 2 is currently available now and is going for $68 on Steam. Thank you for your time.